The ground shook under Jake Morrison's boots as another explosion lit up the dark sky. Smoke filled the air, making it hard to breathe. He pressed his back against a broken wall and checked his rifle. The sounds of laser fire echoed all around him. "Sergeant Morrison, we need to move now," came the voice in his earpiece. "The Corvin forces are closing in fast." Jake looked at his team of 5 Marines. They were all young, scared, but ready to follow orders. They had come to this alien world, called Kethvara, to rescue survivors. The peaceful people here had been fighting a losing war against the Corvin Empire for months. "Listen up," Jake whispered to his team. "The research building is just ahead. We get in, grab whoever we can find, and get out. Stay close and watch each other's backs." The team moved through the rubble of what used to be a beautiful city. Jake had seen pictures of Kethvara before the war. It had tall silver towers that reached toward the sky and gardens filled with strange purple flowers. Now everything was broken and burning. They reached the research building. Half of it had collapsed, but Jake could see lights still flickering inside. Someone was alive in there. "Danny, cover the entrance," Jake ordered. "Lisa, watch our 6. The rest of you, follow me inside." The inside of the building was a mess. Papers and strange alien equipment were scattered everywhere. Jake's flashlight cut through the darkness as they moved deeper into the building. They could hear crying. Somewhere ahead. "This way," Jake said, following the sound. They found her in what looked like a laboratory. She was lying under a heavy piece of metal, blood pooling around her body. She was one of the Velthari people, the aliens who lived on this world. Her skin was pale blue, and her hair was white like snow. Her large golden eyes looked up at Jake with hope and fear. But what made Jake's heart stop was the small bundle she held tight against her chest. A baby. The tiny alien infant was crying softly, her little hands reaching up toward her mother's face. "Please," the dying woman whispered in broken English. "Please help my daughter." Jake knelt down beside her. He had been a soldier for 10 years, but he had never seen anything like this. The woman was clearly dying, but all she cared about was her child. "We'll get you both out of here," Jake said, but they both knew it was too late. The woman shook her head. "No time. Take her. Take my baby and run. Please." She pressed something into Jake's free hand. It was a small crystal that glowed with soft blue light. "Everything you need to know," she whispered, "about caring for her, about our people. Keep her safe." Jake looked down at the crystal and at the baby. The infant had stopped crying and was looking at him with those same golden eyes as her mother. Something deep inside Jake's chest tightened. He had never wanted children of his own, but looking at this helpless baby, he felt something change. "What's her name?" Jake asked softly. "Mirinef," the woman said. "It means bright star in our language. She is all that is left of my family, all that is left of so much." The sound of Corvin ships grew louder outside. Jake's team was getting nervous. "Sergeant, we need to go now," one of his Marines said urgently. The dying woman reached up and touched Jake's face with a trembling hand. "You have kind eyes," she said. "Human hearts are strong. I have studied your people. You will love her as your own." "I promise," Jake said, and he meant it. "I'll take care of her." The woman smiled and closed her eyes. A moment later, she was gone. Jake carefully lifted the baby from her mother's arms. She was so small and light. Her skin was the same pale blue as her mother's, and her ears came to small points. She looked up at Jake and made a soft cooing sound. "Sergeant." Danny's voice crackled through the radio. "Corvin ground forces are 2 minutes out. We have to move right now." Jake wrapped the baby in his jacket and held her close. He looked 1 Last time at the woman who had trusted him with the most precious thing in her world. "Let's go," he told his team. They ran through the collapsing building as explosions shook the walls around them. Jake protected the baby with his body, making sure she wasn't hurt by falling debris. Outside, their transport ship was waiting with engines running. "Go, go, go." Jake shouted as they reached the ship. As soon as they were inside, the ship lifted off. Through the window, Jake watched the research building explode in a ball of fire. He held the baby closer and felt her tiny hand grip his finger. During the flight back to the human fleet, Jake looked down at the crystal the woman had given him. When he touched it, it glowed brighter, and he could hear a voice in his head. It was the baby's mother, speaking to him in perfect English now. "Her name is Miraneth, but you may call her what you wish. She will grow faster than human children. At first, but then slow to match your aging. She will be special. She can speak to animals and understand technology in ways that will surprise you. Feed her the formula I have shown you how to make. Sing to her. Love her. She is the future of both our peoples now." The voice faded, but Jake felt like he understood. This wasn't just about saving one baby. This was about something much bigger. When they reached the main ship, Jake's commanding officer wanted to take the baby to the science labs for study. Jake refused. He put in for emergency leave and made it clear that he wasn't giving up the child. "She's not a science experiment," Jake told his commander. "She's a little girl who just lost her mother." 3 days later, Jake was on a transport, heading back to Earth. He had used all his saved money to buy passage on a civilian ship. The baby slept in his arms as they traveled through space. Jake looked down at her peaceful face and made a decision. He would call her Luna. It was close enough to her real name, but simple enough for humans to say Luna Morrison. His daughter. He didn't know what he was going to do when they reached Earth. He had no experience with babies, alien or human. He had no family to help him. But looking at Luna's sleeping face, he knew he would figure it out. "Don't worry, little star," he whispered. To her, "I'm going to take care of you. I promised your mom I would, and I keep my promises." Luna opened her golden eyes and looked up at him. For just a moment, Jake could have sworn she understood exactly what he was saying. Then she yawned and went back to sleep. Jake smiled and settled back in his seat. He had a feeling his life was about to become very different. But for the first time in years, he was looking forward to what came next. He had a daughter now, and he was going to make sure she had the best life possible. 5 years had passed since Jake Morrison carried a crying alien baby off a dying world. Now he stood in his kitchen, watching Luna pour orange juice into 2 glasses with the careful attention of a child who took everything seriously. "Dad, the birds are talking about the storm coming tonight," Luna said, without looking up from her task. Her golden eyes focused on getting the juice just right. Jake smiled and ruffled her dark hair. To most people, Luna looked like any other 5-year-old girl. Her pointed ears were hidden under her hair, and her pale blue skin could pass for just being very fair. But Jake knew the truth about his special daughter. "What are they saying about the storm?" Jake asked, playing along like he always did. "Robins say it will be loud but short. The old owl thinks we should bring the porch chairs inside." Luna handed him his glass of juice. "I told them you already did that yesterday." Jake had learned not to question Luna's ability to talk with animals. In their first year together, he had watched her calm an angry dog just by looking at it. She could make cats purr and birds land on her finger. The animals in their small mountain town of Pine Ridge seemed to understand that Luna was different. And special. Their house sat on the edge of town, surrounded by tall pine trees. Jake had bought it with his military savings and fixed it up himself. He worked as a carpenter now, building furniture, and fixing houses for the local people. It was quiet work that let him stay close to Luna. "Are you ready for your lessons?" Jake asked, finishing his juice. Luna nodded and ran to their living room. Jake had turned one corner into a classroom with a small desk, bookshelves, and a computer. He taught Luna at home because he couldn't risk sending her to regular school. She was too smart and too different. At age 5, Luna could read books meant for 10-year-olds. She understood math problems that confused adults. When Jake showed her how to use tools, she learned in minutes what took most people hours to figure out. "Today we're going to learn about your mother's people," Jake said, sitting down next to Luna's desk. This was always the hardest part. Jake used the crystal Luna's mother had given him to learn about Velthari culture. He wanted Luna to know where she came from, even if she could never go back. "Tell me about the singing gardens again," Luna said, her eyes bright with interest. Jake closed his eyes and touched the crystal. The information flowed into his mind like a gentle stream. The Velthari grew special flowers that made music when the wind blew through them. Different flowers made different notes, so whole gardens would sing together like a choir. "I dream about those gardens sometimes," Luna said quietly. "I can almost hear the music." Jake's heart squeezed tight. Luna often had dreams about things she had never seen. Sometimes she would wake up crying, talking about silver cities and purple skies. Jake would hold her until she fell back asleep. After lessons, they walked into town together. Pine Ridge was small, with only about 3,000 people. Everyone knew Jake and Luna. They thought she was adopted, which was true in every way that mattered. "Jake, Luna," called Helen Carter from across the street. Helen was the town doctor and one of their closest friends. She jogged over with a big smile. "How are my favorite people today?" "Hi, Helen," Luna said, giving the doctor a hug. "The storm tonight won't be too bad, the animals told me." Helen laughed. "Well, if the animals say so, I believe them. Luna always knows about the weather before anyone else." Jake was grateful for Helen's acceptance of Luna's unusual traits. She never asked too many questions and always treated Luna like any other child. In return, Jake helped Helen with repairs around her clinic and her house. "Are you both coming to the town picnic this weekend?" Helen asked. "Wouldn't miss it," Jake said. "Luna has been practicing her potato sack race technique. I'm going to win this year," Luna declared with confidence that made both adults laugh. That evening, Jake tucked Luna into bed while rain began pattering against her bedroom window. Her room was filled with stuffed animals, books, and drawings she had made. Most of her pictures showed earth animals, but some showed strange creatures with multiple eyes and crystal wings. Jake never asked where those images came from. "Dad, do you think my real mom would be proud of me?" Luna asked as Jake pulled her blankets up to her chin. Jake sat on the edge of her bed and looked into those golden eyes that reminded him so much of that dying woman on Kethvara. "Luna, your mom gave you to me because she knew I would love you and take care of you. Every day you grow stronger and kinder and smarter. I know she would be so proud of the little girl you've become. Do you think I'll ever meet other people like me?" Jake's chest tightened. This was the question he dreaded most. As far as he knew, Luna might be the only Velthari left in the universe. The crystal had told him that the Corvin Empire was destroying every world that housed her people. "I don't know, sweetheart," Jake said honestly, "but I do know that you're not alone. You have me, and you have all the people in this town who care about you. That makes you pretty lucky." Luna smiled and closed her eyes. "I love you, Dad." "I love you too, little star." Jake went to his own room, but couldn't sleep. He often lay awake worrying about the future. What would happen when Luna got older and her abilities became harder to hide? What if someone from the government found out about her? What if the Corvin Empire came looking for survivors? He kept a bag packed in his closet, ready to run if they ever needed to disappear quickly. He had fake identification papers and cash hidden in the house. Jake hoped they would never need these things, but he had learned in the military to always be prepared. The next morning brought sunshine and clear skies, just like Luna had predicted. Jake was working in his shop when Luna came running in, her face excited. "Dad, come quick. There's something wrong with Mr. Peterson's radio." Jake followed Luna to their neighbor's house. Bob Peterson was an old man who lived alone and listened to his radio all day. When they arrived, Jake could hear strange static and beeping sounds coming from the radio. "Been making that noise all morning," Bob said, looking frustrated. "Can't get any stations to come in clear." Luna walked over to the radio and put her small hands on it. Jake watched in amazement as the beeping stopped and the static cleared. Music began playing perfectly. "How did you do that?" Bob asked, staring at Luna. "Sometimes machines just need a gentle touch," Luna said with a shrug. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. Luna's abilities were getting stronger. Soon it would be impossible to hide what she really was. That night, after Luna was asleep, Jake sat in his kitchen and held the crystal. He asked it the same question he had been asking for 5 years. Are there others? Are there other Velthari still alive out there? For the first time, the crystal gave him a different answer. Instead of silence, he heard a faint voice, like someone calling from very far away. "We search. We hope. We remember." Jake's heart began beating faster. Somewhere in the vast universe, other Velthari were still alive. And if they were searching, they might eventually find Earth. They might find Luna. Jake looked toward Luna's room and made a silent promise. Whatever came next, he would be ready. He had raised Luna with love and care for 5 years. She was his daughter in every way that mattered. No one, human or alien, would take her away from him. The storm Luna had predicted came that night, but it passed quickly, just like she said it would. Jake stood at his window, watching lightning flash across the mountain sky, and wondered what other storms might be heading their way. Luna woke up screaming. Jake rushed into her room and found his 10-year-old daughter sitting up in bed, tears streaming down her face. Her golden eyes were wide with terror, and she was shaking like a leaf. "The silver towers are falling," Luna cried, reaching for Jake. "Everyone is running, but there's nowhere to go." "The sky is burning, Dad. The sky is burning." Jake held her tight against his chest, feeling her small body tremble. These nightmares had been getting worse over the past few months. Luna would dream about places she had never seen and people she had never met. Jake knew these weren't ordinary dreams. "It's okay, little star," Jake whispered, stroking her hair. "You're safe. You're here with me in Pine Ridge. Nothing can hurt you." But even as he said the words, Jake felt worried. Luna's abilities had been growing stronger every day. Last week, she had fixed their broken television just by touching it. The week before, she had made their car start when the engine wouldn't turn over. She was becoming harder to hide. Luna pulled back and looked at Jake with those wise golden eyes that seemed too old for her young face. "Dad, I think someone is coming. Someone like me." Jake's blood ran cold. This was what he had been afraid of for 5 years. "What do you mean, sweetheart?" "In my dreams, I see a woman with white hair like snow. She's looking for something. Looking for someone." Luna wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. "She feels familiar, like family." Jake helped Luna get ready for the day, but his mind was racing. If other Velthari were still alive and searching, it was only a matter of time before they found Earth, found Luna. He wasn't sure if that was good news or bad news. After breakfast, Jake decided they needed to get out of the house. How about We go camping this weekend? Just you and me, up in the mountains like we used to do. Luna's face brightened. Can we go to the lake where the fish like to talk? Jake smiled despite his worries. Of course we can. They packed their camping gear and drove up into the high mountains above Pine Ridge. The lake was small and peaceful, surrounded by tall pine trees and rocky cliffs. Jake had been bringing Luna here since she was little. It was one of the few places where she could use her abilities freely without anyone seeing. They set up their tent and built a fire as the sun began to set. Luna sat by the water's edge, having what looked like a conversation with a family of ducks. Jake watched her laugh at something one of the ducks said, and his heart ached. She was so special, so unique. How could he keep her safe in a world that wouldn't understand her? Dad, come look at this. Luna called from near their campfire. Jake walked over and saw Luna kneeling next to their satellite phone. The device was making strange beeping sounds, and its screen was flashing with symbols Jake had never seen before. It's broken, Jake said, reaching for the phone. No, wait, Luna said, placing her hands on the device. I think I can fix it. Jake watched in amazement as Luna closed her eyes and concentrated. The strange symbols on the screen began to change and move. The beeping sounds became more organized, almost like music. Then suddenly, the phone went silent and the screen went black. Luna, what did you do? Jake asked, trying to keep the fear out of his voice. I don't know, Luna said, looking confused. It felt like the phone was trying to talk to someone far away, so I helped it. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. What if Luna had just sent out some kind of signal? What if someone detected it? That night, Jake couldn't sleep. He lay in his sleeping bag, listening to the sounds of the forest and watching Luna sleep peacefully beside him. She looked so small and innocent, but Jake knew she was capable of things that would amaze and terrify people. The next morning, Luna woke up with a gasp. Dad, she's coming. The woman from my dreams. She's coming to Earth. Jake sat up quickly. Are you sure? Luna nodded, her golden eyes wide with excitement and fear. Her name is Lyra. She's my mother's sister. My aunt. Jake's mind raced. If Luna's aunt was coming to Earth, that meant other Velthari had survived. But it also meant their quiet life in Pine Ridge was about to end. We need to go home, Jake said, already starting to pack their camping gear. They drove back to Pine Ridge in silence, both lost in their own thoughts. Jake kept checking his rearview mirror, half expecting to see alien ships in the sky. Luna stared out the window, her hands pressed against the glass. When they reached their house, Jake noticed something that made his stomach drop. There were black SUVs parked on their street. Men in dark suits were talking to their neighbors and taking notes. Dad, what's happening? Luna asked, her voice small and scared. I don't know, but we're not going home right now, Jake said, driving past their house without stopping. Jake parked at Helen's medical clinic and hurried Luna inside. Helen looked up from her paperwork with a worried expression. Jake, thank goodness you're here, Helen said. There are government people all over town asking questions about you and Luna. They want to know about her medical history, her abilities, everything. Jake felt his worst fears coming true. What did you tell them? Nothing, Helen said firmly. I told them patient information is private. But Jake, they seemed to know things. They asked specifically about unusual abilities and whether Luna ever showed signs of being different. Jake looked down at Luna, who was standing close to his side. Her golden eyes were filled with trust, depending on him to keep her safe. Helen, I need to tell you something, Jake said. Luna isn't from Earth. She's from another planet. Her people were being destroyed by an enemy, and her mother asked me to save her. Helen stared at Jake for a long moment, then looked at Luna. That explains a lot, she said quietly. I always wondered why her blood tests came back so strange. You're not shocked? Jake asked. Helen smiled and knelt down in front of Luna. Honey, I've been a doctor for 20 years. I've seen a lot of unusual things. What matters is that you're a good kid with a loving father. Where you come from doesn't change that. Luna hugged Helen tight. Thank you for being our friend. Always, Helen said. But Jake, you need to know something else. Those government people aren't the only ones asking questions. There are reports coming in from around the world about strange lights in the sky. People are saying alien ships have been detected at the edge of our solar system. Jake's heart pounded. How long do we have? According to the news, maybe a few days, Helen said. World leaders are meeting to discuss first contact protocols. Jake knew they were out of time. Luna's abilities had sent out a signal that led her people to Earth. Now both the Valthari and the human government were closing in on them. We need to disappear, Jake said. At least until we know what's going to happen. Helen nodded. Take my car. It's not registered to you, so it might buy you some time. I'll tell anyone who asks that I haven't seen you. Jake grabbed the emergency bag he had prepared years ago. It contained fake identification, cash, and everything they would need to start over somewhere else. As they prepared to leave, Luna grabbed Jake's hand. Dad, I'm scared. What if my aunt doesn't like the way you raised me? What if she wants to? Take me away? Jake knelt down and looked into Luna's golden eyes. Listen to me, little star. You are my daughter. I've loved you and taken care of you for 10 years. No one, not your aunt, not the government, not anyone, is going to take you away from me. We're family. Luna hugged Jake tight. I love you, Dad. I love you too, Jake said. Now let's go. We have a lot of driving to do. As they drove away from Pine Ridge, Jake looked in his rearview mirror one last time at the town that had been their home. In the distance, he could see lights in the sky that definitely weren't stars. The Valthari had found Earth, and their quiet life was over. Jake and Luna had been hiding in a small cabin deep in the Montana wilderness for 3 days when the world changed forever. They were eating breakfast when every electronic device in the cabin suddenly turned on by itself. The radio crackled to life, the television flickered on, and even Jake's old cell phone started beeping. All of them were showing the same thing. Ships. Huge alien ships hanging in the sky above major cities around the world. We come in peace, a voice said from every speaker at once. The voice was soft and musical, speaking perfect English. We are the Valthari. We seek our lost children. Luna dropped her spoon and stared at the television screen. On it was a woman who looked like an older version of Luna's mother. She had the same pale blue skin, the same white hair, and the same golden eyes. But where Luna's mother had been gentle and dying, this woman looked strong and determined. My name is Lyrasith, the woman continued. I am the commander of what remains of my people. We have traveled far to find the survivors of our world. We know at least one of our children lives among you. We ask for your help in finding her. Jake's hands shook as he reached for the remote to turn off the television, but Luna stopped him. Don't, Luna said quietly. I want to see her. On the screen, Lyrasith was standing on what looked like the bridge of a spaceship. Behind her, Jake could see other Valthari working at strange glowing controls. They all looked thin and tired, like people who had been running for a very long time. We understand this is frightening for your people, Lyrasith said. We do not wish to cause fear. We only want to find our family and perhaps find a new home for our people. Our world is gone. We are the last. The television switched to news reporters and government officials. Everyone was talking at once, some scared, some excited, some angry. Jake turned the volume down and looked at Luna. "That's her, isn't it?" Jake asked. "Your aunt." Luna nodded, tears filling her golden eyes. "She looks just like Mama did in my dreams, but sadder." Jake felt his heart breaking. He had always known this day might come, but he wasn't ready. Luna had been his daughter for 10 years. The thought of losing her to her own people made him feel sick. "What do we do, Dad?" Luna asked that before Jake could answer. His cell phone rang. The caller ID showed a number he didn't recognize. "Hello?" Jake answered carefully. "Sergeant Morrison?" A voice was official and stern. "This is General Nathan Brooks with the United States Space Command. We need to talk." Jake's blood ran cold. They had found him. "I don't know what you're talking about," Jake said. "We know about Luna," the general said. "We know what she is and where she came from. The Velthari have specifically asked to meet with the human who has been caring for their lost child. They want to thank you." Jake looked at Luna, who was listening to every word. "What if I don't want to meet with them?" "Then you'll be making a mistake that could affect the future of both our species," the general said. "Mr. Morrison, these aliens have technology we can barely imagine. They could destroy us all if they wanted to. But they haven't. They're being peaceful because they trust that we've taken good care of their child." Jake was quiet for a long moment. "What do you want from us?" "I want you and Luna to come to Colorado Springs. There's going to be a meeting between world leaders and the Velthari. Luna needs to be there. And if I say no, then we'll come get you anyway. But I'd rather you came willingly. Luna deserves to meet her family, don't you think?" Jake looked at Luna again. She was watching him with those wise golden eyes, waiting to see what he would decide. Jake realized that this wasn't really his choice to make. It was Luna's. "Luna," Jake said softly, "do you want to meet your aunt?" Luna was quiet for a moment, then nodded. "Yes, but I want you to come with me. I'll be right beside you the whole time," Jake promised. 2 hours later, a military helicopter landed in the clearing near their cabin. Jake and Luna climbed aboard, both nervous about what was waiting for them. The flight to Colorado Springs took 3 hours. During the trip, General Brooks explained what was happening. World leaders from every major country were gathering at a secret military base. The Velthari had agreed to land one small ship there for the first official meeting between their species. Luna will be the first human-raised Velthari that her people have seen in years, the general explained. How she turned out will show them a lot about humanity. "She turned out perfect," Jake said firmly. The general smiled. "I can see that. You did a good job raising her, Sergeant." When they landed at the military base, Jake was amazed by what he saw. Soldiers and scientists were everywhere. Television cameras were set up behind barriers. And in the sky above them was a ship unlike anything Jake had ever seen. The Velthari ship was beautiful. It looked like it was made of silver and crystal, and it seemed to float without making any sound. Soft blue light pulsed along its sides like a heartbeat. "It's beautiful," Luna whispered, staring up at the ship. They were taken to a large building where world leaders were waiting. Jake recognized the President of the United States and several other important people from the news. Everyone looked nervous and excited at the same time. "Mr. Morrison, Luna," President Patricia Wells said, walking over to them. "Thank you for coming. The whole world is watching what happens here today." A few minutes later, a section of the Velthari ship opened up. A ramp of light appeared, and 3 figures walked down it. Lyriceth was even more impressive in person. She was tall and graceful, wearing clothes that seemed to be made of the same crystal material as her ship. Behind her were 2 other Velthari, both looking around at the humans with curious eyes. But when Lyriceth saw Luna, she stopped walking. Her golden eyes filled with tears, and she pressed her hand to her heart. Marineth, she whispered. Luna let go of Jake's hand and took a step forward. Aunt Lyra? Lyricith knelt down and opened her arms. Luna ran to her, and they hugged each other tight. Jake watched his daughter meet her family for the first time, and he felt happy and terrified at the same time. You are so beautiful, Lyricith said, holding Luna at arm's length to look at her. You look just like your mother when she was young. I miss her, Luna said softly. I miss her too, Lyricith replied. Then she looked up at Jake. And you must be the human who saved my niece. Jake stepped forward, feeling awkward. Yes, ma'am. Jake Morrison. Lyricith stood up and did something that surprised everyone. She bowed deeply to Jake. Jake Morrison, she said in her musical voice, you have given me the greatest gift in the universe. You have kept my sister's child safe and loved. There are no words in any language to thank you enough. She's my daughter. Jake said simply, I love her. Lyricith smiled, and Jake could see kindness in her golden eyes. I can see that. And I can see that she loves you too. You have raised her well. President Wells stepped forward. Commander Lyricith, on behalf of Earth, we welcome you. We're honored to meet your people. Lyricith nodded politely, but Jake could see she was still focused on Luna. Thank you. We hope to be friends with humanity. But first, I must know about my niece. Has she been happy? Has she been safe? Very happy, Jake said. And very safe. She's a wonderful kid. But before anyone could say more, alarms started blaring throughout the base. Soldiers started running, and someone shouted into a radio. Sir, we've got multiple contacts entering Earth's atmosphere. They're not Velthari ships. Lyricith's face went pale. No, they found us. Who found you? General Brooks demanded. Lyricith looked at Luna with fear in her eyes. The Corvin Empire. They've come to finish what they started. The sky above the military base turned dark as enormous Corvin warships descended through the clouds. Each ship was black as night and covered with sharp spikes that made them look like giant metal insects. Jake counted at least 20 of them, and more were still coming. How long until they reach us? General Brooks shouted over the alarm sirens. 10 minutes, maybe less. A technician called back from his computer. Jake grabbed Luna's hand and pulled her close. Around them, world leaders and military officers were shouting orders and running in all directions. But Luna seemed strangely calm. Dad, I can help, Luna said, her golden eyes focused on something far away. I can feel their machines. I can. Talk to them. Lyricith heard Luna and knelt down beside her. Little one, you have your mother's gift. But these ships are made for war. They might hurt you if you tried to touch their minds. I have to try, Luna said. These are my people too. She looked at Jake. All of you are my people. I won't let anyone get hurt. Jake felt proud and terrified at the same time. His 10-year-old daughter was talking about fighting alien warships. But looking into her determined golden eyes, he knew she meant every word. What do you need us to do? Jake asked. President Wells stepped forward. Commander Lyricith, do your ships have weapons? Can you fight them? Lyricith looked sad. We are not warriors. We have 3 small ships with weak shields. The Corvin have an entire battle fleet, but... She looked at Luna thoughtfully. There might be a way. Tell us, General Brooks said urgently. My people created defensive technologies before the war began. Force fields that could protect entire planets. But we never finished building them. Before our world fell. Lyricith touched Luna's shoulder. The knowledge is stored in the same type of crystal that your mother left with you, Luna. If we could combine our technology with human engineering ... We could build a shield around Earth, Luna finished, but it would take time we don't have. Hey! New voice crackled through every speaker in the building. It was deep and harsh, like metal scraping against stone. Velthari survivors, the voice said. We are the Corvin Empire. You will surrender immediately, or we will destroy this planet and everyone on it. You have 5 minutes to decide. President Wells looked at General Brooks. Can our weapons hurt their ships? Unknown, the general replied. But we have to try. Wait, Luna said loudly. Everyone turned to look at her. Give me the crystal, Dad. Jake pulled out the small blue crystal that Luna's mother had given him 10 years ago. As soon as Luna touched it, the crystal began glowing, brighter than ever before. I can see it, Luna whispered, her eyes closed in concentration. The shield technology. It's all here, but I need help to make it work. Lyriceth placed her hand on Luna's other shoulder. Tell us what to do, little star. Luna opened her eyes and looked around the room. I need every computer, every satellite, every electronic device on Earth connected together. And I need the Velthari ships to link with them too. That's impossible. A scientist said, There's no way to connect every device on the planet in 5 minutes. Luna smiled, and for a moment she looked just like her mother. There is if you know how to ask nicely. Luna closed her eyes again and reached out with her mind. Jake watched in amazement as every electronic device in the building began responding to her mental touch. Phones, computers, radios, and tablets. All started glowing with the same blue light as the crystal. Around the world, the same thing was happening. Every satellite in orbit, every computer network, every electronic device on Earth suddenly linked together in a vast web of communication. And at the center of it all was Luna. Aunt Lyra, I need your ships to join the network, Luna said, her voice strained with effort. Lyriceth spoke quickly in her own language. A moment later, the 3 Velthari ships began glowing with blue light. The network was complete. Now for the hard part, Luna said. Dad, hold my hand. I need you to help me stay connected to Earth while I work with the alien technology. Jake squeezed Luna's hand tight. I'm here, little star. I'm not going anywhere. Luna began combining human and Velthari knowledge in ways that neither species had ever imagined. She used Earth's satellite network to create focusing points for the Velthari force field technology. She turned radio towers into power amplifiers and computer networks into control systems. Above them, the Corvin ships were getting closer. Jake could see their weapons charging up, preparing to destroy everything. 30 seconds, someone shouted. Luna's whole body was glowing now, blue light streaming from her hands and eyes. Almost there. Almost ... The Corvin ships fired. Massive beams of red energy shot down from the warships, aimed at every major city on Earth. But just before they hit, Luna's shield activated. A dome of shimmering blue light appeared around this entire planet. The Corvin weapons struck the shield and bounced off harmlessly, scattered into space like fireworks. Impossible, the Corvin commander's voice crackled through the speakers. How did humans develop Velthari technology? Luna opened her eyes and smiled. Because we're not just humans, or just Velthari anymore. We're family. The shield held as the Corvin ships fired again and again. But Jake could see that Luna was getting tired. Sweat was running down her face, and her hands were shaking. I can't hold it much longer, Luna whispered. That's when General Brooks stepped forward with a grin on his face. You don't have to, kid. Look. Jake looked up at the sky and saw something beautiful. Ships were rising from Earth's surface. Human. Military vessels that had been quickly fitted with Velthari technology. They weren't as advanced as the Corvin warships, but there were hundreds of them. Turns out humans are pretty good at copying alien technology when we put our minds to it. General Brooks said, Thanks to Luna's network, We downloaded everything we needed to upgrade our ships. The battle that followed was unlike anything the universe had ever seen. Human courage combined with Velthari wisdom and technology. Earth's defenders fought with strategy and determination. While Luna's shield protected the planet below, the Corvin had expected to find a defenseless world. Instead, they found a united planet defended by two species working as one. After hours of fighting, the surviving Corvin ships retreated into deep space. When the battle was over, Luna collapsed from exhaustion. Jake caught her in his arms, and Lyrisseth knelt beside them. "You did it, little star," Jake whispered. "You saved everyone." "We all did it together," Luna said weakly. "Just like family should." President Wells approached them with tears in her eyes. "Luna, on behalf of everyone on Earth, thank you. You've shown us what's possible when different peoples work together." Over the following months, everything changed. The Velthari refugees were welcomed to Earth as honored guests. They shared their knowledge and technology freely, while humans shared their courage and determination. A new colony was established on Mars, where Velthari and humans worked side by side to build a new world. Luna became an ambassador between the species, helping both peoples understand each other. But the best change of all happened in Jake's family. Lyrisseth officially adopted Jake as her brother, according to Velthari custom. Luna now had both, a human father and a Velthari aunt who loved her deeply. One evening, as they sat together watching the sunset from their new home near the Mars colony, Luna looked up at Jake. "Dad, do you think Mom would be proud of what we've done?" Jake smiled and pulled Luna close. "I think your mother knew exactly what she was doing when she asked me to take care of you. She wasn't just saving one little girl. She was saving both our peoples." Luna leaned against Jake's shoulder. "I love you, Dad." "I love you too, little star. Forever and always." Above them, human and Velthari ships flew together through the Martian sky, proof that love and family could bridge any gap between worlds. And somewhere in the crystal Jake still carried, Luna's mother's voice whispered one last message of thanks to the human who had kept his promise and changed the universe.